like a middle grade book. It's Studio Ghibli. And there are some illustrations in here, I believe. Yeah. Let's see if I can find. Like, I saw them, but I can't really, like. There we go. Like, just some light illustrations in there. And this is one of my favorite children's movies. These girls, May and what's the other one's name? It's Satsuko and May. Their father moves them out to a new house, kind of out in the countryside, while their mother is in the hospital. I don't know if their mother is in the hospital she's sick, but they don't really say what's going on with her. So they're out there, and of course they miss their mother dearly, and they start to venture out into like the surrounding forest and stuff. And that is where they meet Totoro. It's super weird, but it's adorable, and I love it. 11-year-old Satsuki and her sassy little sister May have moved to the country to be close to their ailing mother. Soon in the woods beyond their spooky house, Satsuko and May discover a forest spirit named Totoro. When May goes missing, it's up to Satsuki to find her sister, and she'll need help from some new magical friends. Okay. Now the next book I have here is like the polar opposite of this sweet little story. And that is Candy by Kevin Brooks. I don't know why, but when I looked this up on Amazon, it said it was recommended for 12-year-olds and up, and I've seen the movie. 12-year-olds have no business watching that movie. So I don't know if this is different than the movie or what. It does start out, it says Joe is a kid from the right side of the tracks who cares about music and not much else. Until he falls for a girl named Candy, it starts as an attraction, a crush, and then turns into something more like an obsession. Joe wants to be part of Candy's world, but it's full of things he's never gone near before: drugs, violence, desperation. The darker it becomes, the closer it gets to Candy's true identity. Sometimes love means tremendous pain, sometimes love means heart-pounding danger, sometimes love is sweet, but more often it stings. Joe is going to try to save Candy from the darkness, even if it means risking everything. I'll let y'all know, because the movie, I don't think they're teenagers. I think they are at least adults, and it goes dark, like they get on really hard drugs, and like they're making money on the streets for their drugs and stuff. And like I said, no 12-year-old should really be reading that. But I have not read an addiction fiction in forever, and it's one of my favorite genres. And it's actually like a kind of a scarce genre. There's not a lot. So when I saw this for sale at like a library sale, I was like, boom. Adding it to my TBR. Okay, I wanted something a little cozy for spring, and I accidentally watched the show of this. Is it a show or a movie? Well, I guess it's good that I did, because I was like, what am I watching? studied ancient civilization last, I am going to move over into the Middle Ages. And I have some Middle Ages books. So one of the first ones that I'm going to read is, as setting-wise, not true, I will watch a couple documentaries, but this is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I want to say it's a trilogy, but I'm not sure. So, Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. The first book of the epic Farseer trilogy, so it is a trilogy, in a glorious new edition. Young Fitz is the bastard son of noble prince chivalry, raised in the shadow of the royal court by his father's gruff stableman. Fitz is treated as an outcast by all the royalty except for the devious King Shrewd, who has him secretly tutored in the arts of assassin. For in Fitz's blood runs the magic skill and the darker knowledge of a child raised with the stable hounds and rejected by his family. He's got resentments. As barbarous raiders ravage the coast, Fitz is growing into manhood. Soon he will face his first dangerous, soul-shattering commission. And though some regard him as a threat to the home, he may just be the key to survival of the kingdom. So if I like it, I'll move on. Y'all, I got a question for you. If you have a library card that you don't use Libby on very often, and you don't mind sharing your number with me, because I had Nashville and I had Chicago on there, and they both expired on my Libby, and so now I'm stuck with like my shitty hometown library, and I can't rent anything that I want to rent. I'm dying over here. You can always email me. You add a card to your Libby, and you can never get like fines or anything because Libby takes it back. It's a digital copy. They take it back when it's due. No pressure, but if you have a good library and you don't use your Libby that often, and you don't mind, drop it to me. I really want Austin, and my sister lives in Austin and still hasn't gone to the library, and it's been like 6 months to get her card, so I'm mad. But Nashville was great. Nashville was like amazing because I want to rent some books instead of buying them, and it's not working out well for me right now. Okay, I started this one. I bought this for my Kindle. It was on sale one day in the Kindle app, and I already had this copy, but it was like $5 or something. And I knew how thick it was, so I was like, I might want to read this on my Kindle. So I started it. This is the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. And this is the winner of a Hugo Award. This is dystopian. This is the way the world ends for the last time. It starts with the Great Red Rift across the heart of the world's sole continent, spewing ash and blots out the sun. It starts with death, a murdered son, and a missing daughter. It starts with betrayal, long dormant wounds rising up to fester. This is the stillness, a land familiar with catastrophe, where the power of earth is wielded as a weapon, and where there is no mercy. It starts off, the main character, her husband has killed their son, little boy, 3 years old, little sweetheart, and the daughter is missing, and so she's gonna leave the town to go, I guess, avenge her son. I'm kind of lost right Christmas sale at Barnes & Noble. Okay, this next one I'm about to finish, I'm going to finish it within the next like a day or two. I think I ended up finding the audio at my hometown library, digital audio, and that is The Dutch House. The Dutch House, The Dutch House. This is my second Anne Patchett. And oh my god, since I've been reading the audio, I haven't looked at the cover, and now the cover makes total sense to me. So this is just a sweet tale. I mean, it's kind of sad, but it's about a brother and a sister that lived in the house called the Dutch House, which was like a marvel. It was a marvel in the town. It was designed by some crazy architects, and they were pretty wealthy to live in this house. They lived there with just their dad. Their mom had took off. She was like obsessed with helping the poor, I guess is the word, like to the point that she left her family to go do it. And so they just lived there with their dad and no contact from mom. Eventually dad ends up dating enter evil stepmother, right? And how much it's told from the perspective of the little brother, who basically thinks of his big sister as everything, like she is everything. She's like his pseudo mom, you know. And a lot of the duties fall on, like I can see myself in the oldest sister being the oldest and being a parentified oldest sister. Except that my little sister won't even go get a library card for me. And he will do anything for his sister. Anyways, so they grow up a little bit, and they're living in the house with this evil stepmother, and she brings in two kids of her own and makes big sister kind of do all kinds of stuff for everybody. Even though they have, like, at least they have help in the house too. They have hired help. They have a cook. And they have a house cleaner. So that's something. But it's really good. It is. The audio was read by Tom Hanks. He does a good job reading from a young boy's perspective. The Dutch House. I feel like it's gonna be like, it could be a 5-star. The other book I read by Anne Patchett was called Tom Lake, and that was read by Meryl Streep. Had to blow my nose. Spring allergies are a force to be reckoned with. I've got 2 more books here. They've been on my TBR for quite some time, so I need to knock them out. It's time to just lock it. That is An American Marriage by Tayari Jones. An American Marriage. Apparently it was Oprah's Book Club 2018 selection. It's an epic love story, so I guess it's kind of a romance, but it's also, I think, like tragedy strikes. And can they overcome this tragedy? If I remember correctly, Newlywed Celestial and Roy, I've never heard that as a name before, Celestial and Roy, are the embodiment of both American Dream and the New South. He is a young business executive, and she is an artist on the brink of an exciting career, but as they settle into the routine of their life together, they are suddenly ripped apart by circumstances neither could have imagined when. While visiting Roy's parents in their small Louisiana town, Roy is arrested and sentenced to 12 years in prison for a crime Celestial knows he did not commit. Though fiercely independent, Celestial finds herself unmoored, taking comfort in Andre, her childhood friend, and Roy's best man at her wedding. Yikes. As Roy's time in prison passes, she is unable to hold onto the love that has been at her center. When after 5 years Roy's conviction is suddenly overturned, he returns to Atlanta ready to It's destiny. Ivy believes it's destiny. She's worked long and hard to be the right woman for Gideon. But just as they begin dating, another man from Ivy's past appears, and he has his own set of rules. Ivy soon has a foot in two vastly different worlds. The question is, which will she choose? Coming of age story, a love triangle, an exploration of class and race and identity. Why Ivy is a page turner that will appeal to the fans of the talented Mr. Ripley. Ivy Lynn is compelling and unnerving, and you'll root for her perhaps in spite of yourself. I remember the weirdest things. So yes, this does have some talented Mr. Ripley vibes. Which, again, my library does not have. Like, can I just read the original?